Well, greetings YouTubers. This is Eddie the Grouch, the Tightwad Tinkerer. Today's going to be a little mismatch of stuff, and I want to start with, well, this is for the beginners because, well, they need all the help they can get, and I am a beginner, so a lot of this stuff is fresh in my mind. But I want to go over some things that I feel a new machinist, or a machine person, or a tinkerer should have. Now, you're going to realize, if you haven't already, that these tools come from the wonderful Asia store, Harbor Freight. A lot of people knock them, and a lot of stuff they have is junk. But a lot of it is good, and I think it's really good for the beginning machinist because you would be much better off tearing up some of these cheap ones than grandfather's old last word indicator. So I just want to go through these real quick for the people who are just starting out. That is, oh, never mind. The medication hasn't kicked in yet, and I'm going to be a little incoherent. We're going to go over some measuring stuff that the new people should be aware of and have. And I'm going to try to go by order of importance. You're going to want at least one micrometer. I'm not a great dial reader. This one does have a dial on it. Oh, I forgot to mention, these all are from Harbor Freight, I believe, or at least that ilk. I'm hoping that the camera's going to pick up on this stuff. I got a lot of glare. So, where were we? Anyway, this is, I guess you would call it digital. It's not electronic digital. It's just digital. I picked one of these up because I saw Shop Dog Sam use one. I said, that's right up my alley. No batteries, digits that are easy to read, and you've got your thumb screw graduations to do old school, and you can learn both methods. I really like this one. This is my go-to one. You can see I've dropped it a lot, and like I said, if it was an expensive one, I'd have been pretty upset. It has a drawback though. It's in English only, and if you're going to find out, or should I say, you probably are finding out that if you're a beginning machinist and you didn't get lucky and inherit or pick up a nice used machine, you probably got an Asian or some other import machine, and everything's going to be metric on it. And even we're a lot of our fasteners in the automotive business, furniture you buy, whatever, there's going to be metric on it. So unless you want to keep doing that conversion in your head, you got to have some metric stuff. So that's why I like the electronics, because you can, with the flip of a button or push of a button, go from metric to inch. Now this is, I would call Harbor Freight's lower model, and I will get to that. This is your basic digital caliper, 0 to 6 inches, and you want at least one of these. If you're going to get one tool, this is going to be your most useful. Of course, your next one's going to be a micrometer, because there's, when you're starting out, you're going to have a good reference to go by. Unfortunately, most of us can only afford 1-inch models, so when you're playing with 2-inch stock, you got to see what you're playing with. So that 6 inches is really handy. This is going to be your buddy. Now, Harbor Freight does have two models. They have another one that's slightly more expensive, usually by $5-6, but they also go on sale pretty cheap for as low as 10 or 15. This is the black model. I will give you a model number because I happen to have the boxes here. I buy a lot of these. I step on them. They get messy. It's a disposable tool. This is the black model. And, am I showing this right? There's the model. Oh, lots of glare. I don't even know if this is showing up. Either way, it's the black one. And while it is a good tool, it has a drawback. It has no memory, much like me. So if you're going to use it, you turn it on, it starts from 0. So you're automatically zipping it closed, making sure you're calibrate it out, and then doing your measurements. Of course, you can switch from inch to metric, and that's pretty much it. Your locking tab on top. You should know these things. Now, what I don't like about these is a lot of us beginners use these as really cheap DROs for our mill heads or tailstock movement or such. And I did adapt one for a while. This came off my mill head. And it's okay, but the problem is that memory thing. Within a few minutes you're doing something and it goes away, you lose your measurement. Now you got to crank the thing back up and start all over. So for that reason, I don't recommend the black ones, even though I think they look cooler. So that's out of here. Get the next one up. This one is the one that is labeled as inch, metric, and fractional. So you have your 3 modes off the button. Another good thing about this one is it auto starts. You move it, it comes on. And it has a memory. So when this goes off and I turn it back on, it's going to be reading that same number if it hasn't been moved. Matter of fact, they haven't really checked it yet, but it might even register before it turns on. But since it turns on automatically on movement, you're cool. This makes a great millhead DRO. Just for that reason. Memory, auto turn on, and the fraction's nice too, because you just need to check something round. Well, you just throw it on there, and then that's a 7/16 drill bit. You see that? I guess I'll find out when I review the footage. So it's a nice quick check. This particular model, I will read it off to you. I will probably type it somewhere in the description. That is a 68304. But just remember, it's the gray one with the fractions. The one caveat with these is like most of the import stuff, it's not always great out of the box. In which case, well, I will show you here. So as I said, I get a bunch of these, and I went to grab another one out of the drawer after running the other one over with a cart or something. I don't know. Something stupid like that. But I just checked this one today, and, well, it ain't cool. So, what I did was I took, oh, we'll get to those, but I'm going to use a micrometer real quick. Just going to take something to reference, a nice piece of tool steel, and we'll dial that in, turn it on. That's why I said you want at least one micrometer. We'll call that your precision instrument, which you will test with and calibrate your other ones with. Okay, that is 250. This is a 1/4 inch piece of metal. That's wonderful. I took this one out of the box. Oh, don't read right now because I had you all set to go back to the story, bleeper. 249. I was using this earlier, and it was showing 4/10 off. And that's just not close enough. And now it's working right. Okay. Well, it saves me a trip. Oh, this one does have another problem, though. This happens with some of these. Whether rapid movement or raise some space, I don't know. But it'll jump around. So when you get one, take it out of the box. Even if you buy a dozen of them, take them all out of the box. Slide it back and forth and see if it holds. If I do this enough, it'll show 17 inches. Well, we know that ain't right. So this one's been kind of iffy. It's going to go back anyway. If you can't trust your measuring tools, you can't trust anything. I'm an ex-electrician, and I really had to rely on my tools to keep from getting fried. And that's one thing that was definitely drummed into me. You got to be able to trust your tools. Doesn't mean you have to spend $1,000 for them, but you got to make sure the ones you have are working. So this is my example of, well, a crappy one. It just happens. Take it back, get another one. Do it as many times as you have to. They have a good return policy. But anyway, let's get back to where we were. Okay, nice. And if you can't spring the extra $5, go find some pop bottles. No black ones. They go. It's not a racist thing. It's a practical thing. Okay, so this is going to be your buddy. Your next buddy is going to be a dial indicator. What I find out with my Asian machine is the markings on the dial are a guess. Yeah, they look nice and precise, but if you measure it with an instrument, I put in 2/10 and I get 1.5 tenths. you're going to want something to play with. If you watch any of the other guys, you know, they have the Travadials and stuff on their machines. You're going to want one of these. And I recommend one of each. Ah! And that's a magnet. You're going to want one of those too. But this is a standard rotary, we'll call this a dial indicator, because I don't know the exact term for it. But hey, I'm just talking to normal people. This is a dial indicator. And when you're zeroing out your parts, or your tools and such, it's just a you know, great all-around measurement. You're tramming your mill head. And the good thing about this is, or should I say one of the major benefits, you don't really care about the measurement. You're looking for trends. You're looking for movement. You're looking to see if does it move from one end to the other. That is how these are, I'd say, used in the majority. 98% of the cases. I'm throwing numbers out, but I can do that. It's my video. You're going to be using this for comparing or looking for trends or movement. And I feel a rotary movement is just much easier to see trends. Just like an electrician or electronics guy, they're going to keep an analog meter around because they want to see the swing. You know, when you're checking capacitors or stuff like that. That's what shows you what's going on with it, not the actual numbers. So pick these up. They're cheap. On sale, 15, 20 bucks, whatever. Just get one and have that around. And this goes along with the calipers. I like a digital because it instantly goes to metric for me. I'm old. I'm not going to learn metric system. But I do have to measure in metric. So when I need to check a swing or an average or something like that, or dial a part in on a 4-jaw chuck, this is what I use. When I need to get a measurement or check travel on something and saying, okay, I'm creeping up on a part, I got a 2/1000ths to go, you know, I'll probably pull out this one. I'll say it doesn't get used as often, but the fact is, the metric really comes in handy for me. And if any of you manufacturers, in the whatever slight chances are that you're watching this, it's not hard. Make one that the dial will flip around, so when we're using it normally as a travel indicator, I don't have to read upside down. Please, you can do it with a button press and have it flip the display, or make this thing a swivel or something. Please, I don't ask for much. But yeah, you're going to want one of these too. Okay, now we'll move on to the micrometers. This is a fairly nice unit for what they have. I think it's like $35 or something like that, inch and metric. And what's nice about this one is because you can set absolute value or incremental. So you can come in on a part. Let's say if you don't like doing math, this is great. Okay, 250, and then I can set it to zero it, and then I can get the difference between that part and the next as like a go no go test, or well, whatever your mind comes up with. It shows a big resolution in there. Usually it's a 0.5 type, not 0.5, but it's not going to have, like, your last digit's always going to be a 5, and it's going to average. So that's going to be slop room. But the fact is, I get, oh, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 past the decimal point of good measuring. For a home hobbyist, I'm not building a space shuttle. Grab one of these. They're sweet. Oh, and the thumb wheel thing. Use it. It's there for a purpose. It's there to give you a consistent, repeatable amount of pressure on the measuring device. So you dial in, you get close with the little knob. This one's different. This one's backwards from the other one, which is something to get used to. But there you go. Just like the clicker on your fuel cap on the car. That's there to keep you from over tightening, breaking things. Same here. It protects your device, and it gives you a repeatable amount of pressure, so your stuff comes out better. Okay, this one I'm going to call a dial test indicator. At least kind of what I figured was going on with, because nobody knows what to call these things, because I see them in different things on eBay and the catalogs. You know, somebody just, oh, that word looks nice, and they put it in there. So what I look at is dial test indicators are these little small movement jobbies. This is a double acting, meaning no matter which way you push the plunger, it wants to read upwards. So I push and pull, it goes the same direction. Good or bad, I don't know, but this is a more accurate version of this. This will show in half thousandths per tick, and these are really good when you want to check, or really check like a shaft or something, when you need that little bit finer measurement. and they're pretty darn sensitive. So that's another goodie to have. I've had this one apart so many times because I drop it and I knock the mechanism up. But I said you don't use these for measurements, especially one of this quality. You use it for movement and trends, and it works very well at that. You're also going to want some kind of base. There are the post base. Okay, close your eyes. I'm going to swing you around, or maybe I'll take it out. There's one over there. I ain't get out of my chair because it's hard to get over there. That's a post base style indicator. That's your entry level basic $10, $15 one. And if you're going to use it on a flat surface or you know, just for height measurements and stuff, fine. You know, it's got the big mag and all that, but it's not my favorite. Matter of fact, it sits there almost all the time. I use it for paperweight. You're really going to want, I guess we'll call it the Noga style. Alright, I'm zooming back out. We're trying to get rid of the nauseas here. Alright, now I lost my thing. I can't see what you see. Okay, back to the table. These are just nifty. Because with those darn rod styles, you got to reverse the rods and undo this, and they're just avoid them. One knob, and you can put it where you want it. The only disadvantage to getting the cheaper one, I think this was $15 on eBay shipped. I'm not regretting that purchase one bit. Everything is under 50 bucks. So to outfit yourself for your beginning set, you know, 100 or two, and you've got some stuff that'll work fine. And then when you graduate and you're comfortable working with them, and you're not stepping on them or running them over with a dolly, or raccoons aren't stealing them from your shop, then yeah, get the expensive ones and take your work up to another level. But while you're figuring out your machine, while you're learning the skills and the muscle memory and all that, there's no problem with using the cheap ones. Like I said, we're not building space shuttles. But yeah, this is great. The only caveat or regret is the small magnets. I haven't had a good one to be able to compare it with, so I don't know if a name brand like a Noga has a stronger magnet, but these are fairly on the weak side. And something about the steel in the import machines, they seem almost anti-magnetic. It'll sit on the table, but trying to put it to the mill head or the cast or the tailstock, it's just not that good. So I would like, if anybody has a supplier or knows of someone who has replacement bases that are stronger in comparable sizes, that would be fantastic. And also, if you do have a mill, you're probably going to want to clamp one of these up and mill your faces, because usually when I get these home, they've got a rock in them. And like I said, if you can't trust your tools, there's no sense using it. So make it dead flat. Buy a cheap surface plate too. I have one of those. I think I paid $25 for it, for a 12 by 12 or a 16 by 16. And it's a flat plate. And you can use that to measure all your stuff. What have we got to cover now? Okay, a base magnet. And this is a fairly strong one. I don't know if that was a mail order or what. But now this baby will stick to some stuff. You don't want your instrument moving. You don't want to think about it. You don't have to worry about it if it's doing this. You want something that's going to stay, so when you go to measure something, it's going to be what you're looking for. Like I said, if your tool moves, it's not measuring anything. Okay, angle gauge. This is handy when you're setting angled tables, tilt tables, vices. You want tool angles to the work. This just makes things simpler. And of course, this is I think Home Depot or Lowe's, probably $15. And if you haven't seen one, that's basically what it is. You can zero it out anywhere. And then when you slide your baby around, you're all set. I was making a tool holder, and it made it easy just to put on a flat surface, zero it out, swing it 90 degrees. I might get that video up. I'm not finished yet. I start projects and I wind up going and doing something else because I can't complete it as is until I get the next project done. It's a pain in the ass. I'll zero it again, and then when I'm checking off my tool, I know I need 40 degrees this way and 40 degrees that way, and that they're just handy. I have my first one, this thing. As far as I'm concerned, the only thing it's useful for is checking drill. Other than that, I don't know where they're pointing when this thing is set up, but the markers don't jibe to anything. Maybe it's put on backwards. I don't know. So, no, get one of these. Electronics are nice. What else can we touch on? Feeler gauges. Always good to have a set of these around because you can use them as shim material. You can find out how far off you are, like an object where you can't, get one of these into. So I need to know how much space is under here or between two parts so I can do a matching groove or something like that. And I can throw them in there. Okay, I need 2 of these, and I'll need 40 thousandths. So they're great for that. Okay. Oh, let's not try. Let's go back to. Okay, we got another holder here. You can see that's kind of bigger, so I'm going to pull you back. Oh, can't pull you back. I'm already sitting on the camera. This is a larger version. This is the ball and tube style, and these are also nice. And I said these two have the advantage over the pole style is you can put them just about anywhere you want and lock it down, because you're always going to have to go over a tool, around a column, around the vise, what have you. These two styles are just fantastic, and the imports are not expensive, and they're well worth it. Okay, enough of that droning on. Oh, you're going to sharpen your own tools, you're going to sharpen your own bits, and you probably have a 6-inch grinder, maybe an 8-inch if you're lucky. I'm not that lucky, but I have so many 6-inches I've collected over the years. That's pretty much what I've stuck with. But as far as cleaning up your wheels, chewing them, deglazing them, whatever, this is probably about the best you're going to get for the money. I've used star wheels, I've used points, I've used them little volcanic rock or whatever that comes with some of the kits, and all you do is make a mess of your wheel and make a mess, period. But 10-20 seconds with this and you've got a nice flat wheel. It looks like an old style razor. It's dirt simple. If we had a way to blast some diamonds on something, we'd be cranking these out ourselves. But it's just a turned aluminum handle that screws into this little hollow T-bar here, and it's got a facing of diamond, and it just zips right through it. And you've got a flat reference face where if you have a point, you have to drag it straight across the wheel surface to get a good finish. Well, this is kind of self-centering. You can get up there. It might be cocked, but it's going to be flat. So these are just great. So being the tightwad as I am, I dismiss and I'll tell you if there's something that's crap. And all this stuff here has been, that's what you need. It's good. And I'll probably do future of these. Let's try it again. I'll probably do more of these in the future when I come across, well, I have a lot of really nice stuff, or stuff I think that beats everybody else by such a margin that it's really worth considering getting. I'll take an example. We've all used these. Little pair of channel locks. Well, channel locks is like Band-Aids. It's an adjustable plier. I don't know if the right angle head is anything different, but channel locks are okay. But I stopped buying them when I took one out of the package and squeezed the handles and the jaw snapped off. So I kind of figured either the quality control isn't that great, or maybe they're doing imports now. But this is, you probably, electronics guys are going to know about these. This is the Nipix Corporation. I think they're out of Germany. And this is the Cobra, I think they call them pump pliers. And I think the really only difference is you get a different shape on the nose, but it's a thin plier. So you can get behind set nuts and stuff like that in cramped places. And rather than being one half over another half, where it can kind of, if you're really squeezing, you could throw your jaw out of, the force isn't even. Where this has one through the other, so the force is always directly acting parallel with the handles. And this set Oh, not this one because it's still got the button. But I have a set of these that are probably 25 years old, and I have not managed to break them. These are just fantastic. You can get them at your better tool houses. They come in, I think, 3 sizes. They also have another plier that's not pump pliers. And I said, I don't have those. I like this grip section here because it acts like a little pipe wrench. I can do 90% of pipe work with these rather than dragging out a pipe wrench because they just grip. When that gets in there and you squeeze that handle, them serrated jaws just dig right in. And they grip everything. And these are expensive. I think this set's like 25, at least last time I bought one. And they go up from there. But you will not break this plier. You will not be disappointed with it. And it will serve you well and probably your grandchildren. So if you're going to get one good tool, especially electricians, I know this from experience, when you throw it in your belt, it keeps your setting. So when you're doing a lot of connectors, half-inch, you know, when you're doing a closeout or when you're doing your wiring, I forgot which stage we called it, but basically you're going in, you're pulling your wires through, and you're putting the ends on and stuff. You know, they stay the same size. Boom, boom, boom. You can go right through your fittings. You're not having to keep going back and get your adjustment like with the channel locks. You know, remember the channel lock flick where, you know, to get started you have to flip it, it opens up, and then you know, put it where you want it. These stay. And they're just fantastic. I can't say enough good things about them. And you're going to find these at your HVAC shops, your electrical warehouses, and I think some of the box stores are starting to carry these now. Okay, I'm going to reposition things to get back because I want to talk about a goofy phenomenon that bites us new timers in the butt. I really hope this isn't too loud because I'm too close to the camera, but no, I'll get right back with you. Okay, we're back, and I really hope you're bearing with me. I'm new to videos. This is a new camera for me. I normally can't complete my own sentences, so this is an uphill battle for me to try to get this information out to you. But I think no matter how many times somebody says it, it's worth repeating. I got my whiteboard out. I don't know why. I probably won't even use the damn thing. But let's see, I'm done with that project. Got that stuff. Pig fat still rules, so I'll leave that there. Anyway, how to explain this? You've got your test instruments, your measuring tools. You've got your machine dialed in. And you're getting ready to cut your first part or your second one. And damn it doesn't come out the right size. What the hell's going on? The error is small, but you're trying to get exactly 0.25, and you keep getting 0.255, a little bit bigger than what you expected. And this is just going to be a reminder. You turn anything. This has to do with mostly lathe work. You're not going to run into it too much on a mill. I lost my little piece of metal. Hey, when that happened. Gotta find another one in there somewhere. Alright. I've had this all day. It's a full moon, and I set something down, and the gnomes take it away from me and hide it, and then put it back when I'm not looking. Okay, you turn a piece of metal. You get a nice smooth finish. So you think. But let's blow that up. And we're gonna put this in the transmogrifier. And here's what you get. A screw. That's what this is. It's a screw. A very fine pitched screw, but it's still a screw. So, you get out your tool. Oh, don't tell me I don't have one of these here either. This is fairly poorly thought out. Okay. There's a tool for aluminum. But it'll apply to any sharp pointed tool. And you're cutting your part. You're going along just fine. And for the people who can't see, like me, let's put this up there. Okay, you're cutting along, and you're making your very, very small, fine threads, but they are still threads. So what happens when you go to measure it? Your tool is cutting to this depth. You said it, I want 0.25. I want 1/4 of an inch. And your point is probably at 1/4 of an inch. But what happens when you go to measure it? You're measuring the outside, not the little valleys. So of course it's going to read higher. That's when you start filing. That's when you start using emery paper to bring yourself to the final dimension. Because if you make your tool, say you adjust or reset or whatever, and you actually only cut 260 or whatever, or what you think you want to get, you're going to have all these valleys here, and as that wears down, your piece is going to get smaller. It may look like a really nice finish coming off the lathe, but if you do a coarse turn and it seems smooth to the eye, it kind of feels smooth, but it's still really going to be like this. Like I said, these are going to wear down, your part's going to get smaller. So a good practice is trust the tool. Get down to your 250, then you start filing on this, and this area here will pretty much keep you from making your part too small. You're going to keep making this smaller, and more metal shows up. Now it takes more effort to go any farther. And then you'll file some more. Now you're filing 5-6 times more than just the peaks. This goes down fast. Sort of like trying to lose weight. That little bit goes fast, and then it's harder as you go. But this is what you're looking for. Get rid of the peaks, get your piece smoother, and closer to dimension. Don't make the mistake of dialing in your part or your tool a little bit more, thinking you're going to get closer to dimension, because all you're doing is making a part that's going to be too small when you get to the finish you want. I'm sure I didn't explain that well, and this footage probably won't even get on YouTube. But, well, it's like 3 in the morning here, and I'm bored, stupid, and I got so many projects, I don't know what to start first. So I just want to bring these things to your attention. It's just it would be overlooked. So just think of what I said. If you've made any sense of it, great. If not, say so. I'll try to explain it. Leave your comments. I really appreciate it if you do. If you're a glutton for punishment, subscribe. I've only got a few up right now, but I plan on making more. Like I said, good information cannot be repeated enough, and bad information will get corrected, and that'll help me. So, you see anything I'm doing stupid or wrong, let me know. I'm always looking for better ways to do things. Unless you're a safety Nazi, I hear it all the time. I'm an adult, and I feel what people choose to do, whether wearing safety glasses or getting into a full Tyvek suit with a respirator to go work on your machine, no, it ain't gonna happen. So just let me be. I'm big enough, and I believe people should always have responsibility for their own actions. So if they do something stupid, well, too bad. As George Carlin says, the kid who eats the most marbles doesn't grow up to have kids of his own. And that is a fitting reward. Unless if I can think of anything else to throw around this cheesy video, this will probably be it for now. Because I want to make some mess. And I want to be able to do it to the point where you guys are going to understand what I'm doing. So I need practice. So I hope you got something out of this, and we'll see you soon. Okay, I thought of something. We're back. Another I would consider a must-have at Harbor Freight, $5, $7, whatever. You get a kit of like 4 or 5 of these jeweler's loops of varying powers, and I don't think any shop should be without something like this. You're going to be working with your tools, and you might not know it, but all of a sudden you're getting a crappy finish. You don't know why, or you want to zoom in on your turned part and really see what the finish is. You want these. You normally can't see a break on the end of a tool, but you look through here and you sure can. Maybe I can put that on the camera. Let's take a look. There we go. See, when I got I got a bunch of carbide from the scrapyard. You buy it by the ounce. And there's usually a lot of life in there, and I plan on sharpening these. But you see that, to me, to the naked eye, that looks like a new tool. But now you can see it does have some wear on it. It could have a little broken chip you don't know about, giving you a bad finish. You can compare it to those side edges that normally don't get used in this type of tool, but the noses are worn. You won't see that with the naked eye. So it's a great check on your tools. So you can see that. See, there's a chip out of it. And that will mess with you. So, just like a test instrument, these jeweler loops are really good for checking your work. Check your drill bits. Read the numbers when you get old. You want to see, I don't know if there's numbers on this one, but you want to order another one? Well, they're in there somewhere, but you can read the small numbers on them. Read the shanks of your drill bits to see what size it is. Whatever. They're really handy. Just get some. Just listen to me and get some. Like Shop Dog Sam would say. You know, just don't argue. Shut up. Get them.